weirdest spot I've ever zoomed. But I guess looking ahead to this weekend, looking at the East Division standings, I believe there's 5 teams, all kind of bunched up there with 2 wins apiece. Going up against 2 East Division teams, I guess how much of an opportunity is this to, maybe kind of separate yourself from the pack a little bit?
Well, anytime you go on the road, it's opportunity. Road games are not easy to win anywhere in college basketball, and particularly when you're playing against good opponents. And Florida Atlantic, up to this point, has proven they're one of the better teams in the East, with wins at Marshall by 13, and literally led UAB for 35 minutes at UAB, basically the whole game. So they can really score the basketball, and got 3 guys, I think, it's made 115 or 16 threes between them. That's most of anybody in the league, 3 guys. We know what Florida International is. We've already played them. We know how good they are. You've seen their abilities to score and how dangerous they are. So, again, it's going to be 2 challenging games. But like I said, anytime you can go on the road and win in any division, it's a challenge.
Coach, with the North Texas game, the Achilles heel was shooting, especially from deep. Just in practice this week, looking ahead to this trip, what have you and the coaches done with the players to work on that to make sure they shoot lights out, against FAU and FIU this week and clean those things up?
Hey, Muhammad, I don't particularly put it on shooting. I know we look at that stat. They made 10 for 23 threes. And we basically go 0 for 10, 2 for 12 for the game. Yes, it is shooting. That's 10 more threes than we made. That's 21 points. But it was their ability to get in those perimeter guys and not allow us to really get in that lane off that bounce with Davey enough to create help with Jamal Rowan and having to help off those other guys. You look at shooting, again, these are some strange stats. We outshoot them, I think, 47, 48% to 43%. We out-rebound them by 2. We make more free throws than they do. We had 2 more turnovers than they did. We had 15, they had 13. But when you break down the stats, it all came from a 3-point line where they were able to get some better shots than we were able to get. So, like I said after the game, give them some credit. They did a good job taking away kind of way our teams put together. We all know we're not put together great to throw it to the block. So we've got to be able to drive it and create threes off penetration, and something we've done pretty good. I think we were leading the league in field goal percentage, and we've been pretty good at it. But that particular day, they were better doing what they did than we were. But to answer your question, we work on shooting every day, Muhammad. Luke only got 1 shot. He got that one last basically 5 seconds of the game. They just face guard him, gave him no shots. And to keep you out of lane, and they don't have to create no help off those guys.
Coach, can you comment a little bit about the Keith Williams, Zion Harmon situation? Of course, Jared broke the news yesterday.
Yeah, Max. Hey, we all disappointed. Let's talk about Keith. Just disappointed with the outcome of the decision. We all kind of felt strongly they'd rule in his favor. That's what we all felt. In particular, waiting this late. He'd already missed 15, 16, 17 games. This young man, did all those other little things right. It's been documented that he signed with an uncertified agent, which there's been a lot of situations that has caused that. I ain't gonna get into all details. Came out of draft early enough, did all those other little things. Was a college graduate. But again, there were some other cases where kids had been ruled eligible too. So I hate it for Keith. He sacrificed a lot, wanted to be here. He's been a terrific young man. He's been a great teammate. And for us, there's no question. He would have helped us tremendously. He averaged 14.5 points a game, at Cincinnati. Pretty good team, pretty good program. And but again, I just hated for him. So, now his college eligibility is over, and and he trying to find something now professionally. These next 3 or 4 or 5 months until there's another cycle of this pro stuff. Zion's still the same. Again, as the statement said, we hate it for him. We're here to help him, but he's not enrolled for personal reasons. And again, moving forward, I just hope everything gets better for him.
Coach, I know right now the focus is FAU, but with FIU, who you guys play on Saturday, having already played them once at home, how do you see that game being different with it being in Miami versus Bowling Green?
Well, there's a lot of difference there, Muhammad. You're on the road. Muhammad, you ever been there, Jim?
No, but I was just in Miami for the last 4 days, so I went past it.
Why didn't you stop in and walk in it and go watch a game?
I had other stuff going on, but it would have been fun, I'm sure.
Well, I think you just answered the question. There's going to be a lot of other stuff going on for a lot of people Saturday night when we roll up in there. It's basically it's a tough environment to play in, if that makes any sense. Not because of the noise. It's just a different environment. I'm not trying to be, make light of the situation, but hell, if there's 50 people there, it's what it is. So it's a different environment. But most importantly, again, we don't have to play the environment. We just got to play the team between the lines. And they're a good basketball team. If you'll remember back to our first game at our place, it was a war the first half, and we kind of separated a little bit, in the second half. But anytime you have as many people as they have can make 3-point shots, and they have that little point guard, Brewer, we had a hard time containing him. So it'll be a challenge for us.
Hey, Coach. Jared with the Daily News again. You talk about their ability to make threes, FAU's ability to make threes. It seems like every team you guys face, we're talking about that. I mean, Eastern, Rice, do you guys feel like you're good at or getting better at least at defending teams that like to shoot a lot of threes like these guys do?
Hey, Jared, one thing about this league, it's a little bit different maybe than playing Ole Miss, playing Louisville, some of those bigger teams. They may not have as many shooters on that court. And lots of times their 4 guys are bigger and stronger. Maybe they're not as good as shooters. One thing about this league, it seems like, basically most people play with 4 guards and everybody can shoot the basketball. We've been a team for a long stretch when we had a J-Mar in there, played a lot of zone. And then you get in the league play a little bit, comes a little bit more difficult because there's more shooters on that floor. So we have to adjust again. I think we're with our abilities and some of those perimeter spots, I think we're okay. I don't think we're great, but I think we're okay. Again, North Texas hit 10 of them, but 5 of those threes came between 2 guys. One of them was 1 for 9 conference play. He hits 2. And the other one was 2 for 10 on a year. One of them hit 3. I'll take that back. One of them hit 3. They were 5 for 7 between them. I think on a year, they were 16 for 62. Again, I don't know if that's lack of defending. Some of those guys we wouldn't have really pressured up on and made some shots. Shooting is a very delicate thing. Hey, as I've said many times, you make shots, makes the world go round. So, but to answer your question, Jared, I think we're really good at one spot. I think Cam plays with his mind a lot. He works hard at it, anticipates things and see things. And Luke does the same thing. But we're probably not the most athletic in a couple of those areas. So we got to make up for it in other different ways. And again, playing without Keith is nothing we hadn't done all year long. That's just, we got the same team we've had now. Yeah, there's been a lot of anticipation getting him in there, playing him, but it's very obvious. I've got to continue to find some guys on that bench now. Sherm's got to give me a few more minutes. He's got to be able to help me some. We've got to rest some people a little bit more. You can't play as much man as we want to play him, particularly on a Thursday and a Saturday night. That gets to be real challenging.
Coach, after the way North Texas was able to play defense on y'all, do you think every other team will look at that film and kind of use that as a blueprint to be able to beat you all?
Hey, Caden, it's kind of like as a coach, it's not what you're able to do, it's what you're capable of doing. They have great quickness in all four of those spots now. Guards, really. They got guards. And they had great quickness, the best defensive team they've had. And most teams don't have that kind of quickness. I know we don't. There's very, very few of them do. So even though everybody knows with us, we got two shooters out there, constantly got to take away those shots. Well, if you can't keep Davey out of the lane with Jamar, then they're going to make you pay if you're not going to help off those shooters. So, it's kind of choose your poison just a little bit. Through whatever games it's been, we've been pretty efficient offensively, getting that ball where we got to get it and scoring the basketball. So naturally, it's something everybody wants to do, take away the three-point shot. Everybody wants to do it. But again, we're not an easy team to defend when you spread that court with Jamar and Davey in the middle of that lane either. Again, I'm going to say this, North Texas, give them credit. They did a great job at it.
Anything else for Coach?
Coach, when you touched on Cam playing with his mind and, having Luke with all his experience, having those guys in that leadership. I know I've asked you this before, and I think I asked Davion about this, but just how awesome is it to have those guys with that experience and that leadership, and how much does that trickle down for the younger guys on the team up to this point?
Yeah, Muhammad, it's just not experience, but it's experience, high character too. That's even more important. Those experienced guys maybe sometimes don't trickle down as much because maybe their attitudes and guys' characters, but you're talking about two guys that are just great people on and off the court, great teammates, high character guys. And you've heard me say this many times, there's no substitute for experience. And those two guys are really good there, and it's a huge help.
Everybody good?